Karibu sana mtazamaji wa Cax TV. Kipindi leo ni Youth Tuko Friday Live, and we are so delighted that you have chosen to watch Cax TV, the only channel worth watching. So asante sana. And today we're going to be talking teen manenos. Our teenies are coming home. It's going to be a long 7 weeks holiday. KCP ndio hiyo tunamaliza, KCSE ndio hiyo tumeguruma, tumeenda, mahesabu tumefanya, grammar ndio hiyo tunaendelea. And today we're actually going to be thinking teens life. As I talk about this, going at the back of my mind, like, how did it feel to be a teenager? It was just a long time ago. But of course, I got a guest here with me in studio who is going to be helping me to understand those teenage years. Because guess what? For 7 weeks, 7 long, good, precious weeks, our young people are going to be serenading our homes. They're going to be serenading churches. They're going to be on the street. They're going to be everywhere. But we want to ask ourselves, who are teenagers and what do they want? How are we going to accommodate them in this space of 7 weeks? Of course, things have really changed. There was a time that young people stayed home for so long, and there were very many challenges. Teen pregnancies were there. There were issues of drugs. There were issues of family conflicts because people had not been used to living together for so long. But anyway, I don't even want to say so much because I get a guest here with me. His name is Peter Tesh. Oh, yes. Karibu sana kwa show. You say hello to our viewers who are Cax TV.
Hi everyone. Jambo, I hope you're all well and doing great. Welcome to Cax TV and much more to this Youth Tuko show. Talking about the teenagers. I'm personally excited to talk about that particular age of growing up.
So very well indeed.
As you heard, my name is Peter Matere, aka Peter Tesh. Uko mtaani. Watu wananijua kama Peter Tesh.
Peter Tesh.
Yes.
And that is definitely a very cool name, and especially when you're talking teens life.
Oh yes.
And I'm almost feeling like too old because of coming with Mbwenya, with Mbwenya Mazet to talk about teens life. So if you're a teen and you're watching us and you're thinking, no dude, so why did you put Mbwenyas on our show? Please just when you get to our age, you'll understand.
Utajua kwa nini?
You'll understand. But thank you very much, Peter Tesh, for being here together with us in studio. You know, as we go through this conversation, we are thinking teens life, and like I've said to Kianza, the teens are definitely, you know, they're a part of us. We have them in our homes. We love them. We appreciate them, and we care about them. And you're a youth pastor.
Oh yes.
So these are your people.
Yes. Very much.
Yeah.
Very much. In fact, just for that, I'm a youth pastor in PC Nairobi West.
Yes.
One of the greatest churches around Nairobi City.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, yes. And so I'm hoping, even for my teens out there watching.
Yes.
This is part of my life. You know, sometimes when you sleep, you dream.
Yes.
I speak and I dream about the youth ministry, and the teens are part of that.
Yes, and of course you served with with the Central Youth Committee.
Oh yes, and
you are the chairman, the national chairman, and so you must have experienced a great deal of youth ministry, and particularly teenage life, because when you talk about youth ministry kwa PCA, we have the teenagers, we have the what we might call the young adults of about 19 to 25, and then you have we might call them the senior adults of 26 to 35. Let's actually begin there, looking at these three transitional stages, because of course we begin from childhood, then there is teenage. These are broad stages. Middle adulthood, then late adulthood, then senior adulthood. Let's begin by understanding who are teens. What stage is this of life that is called teenage?
Well, I'll start by, first of all, just identifying it in the normal way. People think teenagers are in the years of teens. You know, when you start talking about 10, 11, 12, and then you hit the teen. Yes. So you pick the teen at the end, and you go all the way in 14, until where it cuts. So you'll do that until 19. And of course, when you reach 20, there is no one who wants to be called a teen.
You don't want to be called a teenager.
At that particular age.
Yes.
But you know what I usually tell my teens, even in the church?
Yeah.
Well, me, I'm 18. Because the moment I hit 19, the next stage is 20. So I'm 18 till I die. A teenager for that matter. That being a fact, generally in the world we know them as a young stage between childhood and adulthood, where there is no major definition of who they are. A very confusing stage, because they have the ups and downs, they have their emotions, their physical development. A lot of changes will happen in there. Well, you hear somebody talking, hey, and then the next time they're hi, you know, all changes that apply when somebody is at the teen level. And so it's an age where in the education level you'll find most of them are high schoolers. True. And then they move to at least start their college life before now they finish, because they start their college life at the teens age, and then they finish their college life when they are in the early adulthood stage. So this is a very great transitional stage.
And talking about transition and transformation, because truly I think that is one of the things in a defining stage. You might want to highlight some of the, you've mentioned physical changes. You've mentioned about emotional changes. You know, what are some of the other changes that are taking place, because they take place inwardly, outwardly, environmentally?
Well, Pasi, you know, this is a stage where this particular person has to grow in a wholesome manner. If one part is left at this particular stage, I will assure you it will be a struggle in the early adulthood to maneuver back to create their identity. Because one of the major things that's why they are developing is because they are creating identity. At that. So it is identity along all phases. Identity in the social circles, identity in their physical, because they have to understand themselves and where they are coming from and where they are going. This also means identity with Christ. In their spiritual journey. Because if they miss it, because remember they came from a place where Sunday school was a must. You took them
by force and fire.
Otherwise maybe no lunch, or you have to say the memory verse the teacher taught you. This is a stage where they have a choice, and maybe sorry to say there are churches where they don't have the teens ministry specific. Teens ministry.
Particularly addressing teens.
Addressing the teens. So now it becomes more challenging because they are more even confused. Do I still stay in the church school? Do I go to the youth? Remembering, or do I follow mom and dad to the main church? To the main church. Now when it becomes worse, where there is no youth service. No, they need to go with mom to the main church. So that is another spiritual, they have to have a hold.
As a spiritual identity.
This is also a stage where they are thinking about what they have in terms of economy. Chums. Because I don't want to keep on. I'm feeling I'm becoming an adult. So do I have to keep on
exactly? And I want to buy for myself the coolest, kind of T-shirt.
And you know something? There is something you cannot ask a parent to buy for you.
True. And probably sometimes it's even a little bit easier for the girls because even the mom knows that this girl of mine needs 1, 2, 3. But sometimes young men wazee,
wacha nikwambie, boy child anakuwa na shida. Boy child. Ni shida noma. Kwa sababu you see, for the girl there is a transitional concept. And that women understand. Let me also tell you something. Yes. When we talk about the physical development of this teenager, let me hit on the boy child. Because this is a transition where they are getting from the primary to secondary. We all understand. Yes. There is the transition cultural concept. Ile circumstances. Those are the two. So there is a total expectation that umemove, umepikiwa kutoka hii stage, umerushwa hii stage. So uanze kujipanga. So which doesn't necessarily happen to the girl child in exactly the same version. No, they go through a transitional counseling, mentorship. So boy child ni ile ya ni kama after amefanywa ninio, ni kama he's thrust into that adult world now, kind of now. Okay, you go, you are. So si umekuwa. Yes, we are now a man. Yeah, so you can maneuver. So it becomes a place where we have to recognize that this teenager has to grow in all aspects. To help that teenager become an adult who is of influence. First of all, not to any other person, but to themselves. Thank you very much. I think this is quite a wonderful understanding of what this teenage phase of life is all about. And the reason we're talking about this is because at times unakuta kwamba kuna a lot of conflict, a lot of challenges. Teenagers wanaambiwa ya kwamba they've gone haywire and all that. Kuna conflicts nyumbani, kuna issues ambazo tunaona ni kama teens wana indulge in sana. But we're having this conversation so that we can set the parameters right in terms of, even at the end of the conversation, we'll actually be looking at, now that the teens are going to be home, mzazi unaishi na your teenage daughter, your teenage son, how can we best support our young people through this transitional stage so that eventually, like Tesh is saying, they can be fruitful, useful adults, later in life. For example, let's just go back a little bit to 2020 when the academic year was officially declared dead on arrival. And, parents were not prepared. They were not ready. And I think this is the first longest holiday there is since your time, because the other 2 holidays have been short. I think this 7-week holiday looks like, one of the longest since then. What are some of the challenges that were experienced at that time? Because parents are caught completely unawares. You stick with your child for a whole year. Well, the worst point was not about the teenagers being home. The worst point was for the parents being home. You see, per se, parents themselves were not ready to be home. And they didn't want to be home. They never used to be home. They have, and they're not supposed to be home. They are not even supposed to be home. In a way. True. The society has molded us in that concept that you wake up in the morning, you gotta get to work and all that. Which is an understandable thing. And now the children are here, the teenagers, and especially not even the children, the teenagers are home. Quite a number of things have never been experienced by parents, and it was a shocker because you take your kids to school, they are there the longest time. They are under the law. Particular discipline. Somebody is taking care of them. And there is a timetable to follow. And we all agree, even adults, when they go home for leave, they tend to change their schedules. To be very sincere, tunajua hata dad na mom mnalalaga kidogo zaidi. I don't know, actually they don't stay home. Adults don't stay home even during leave. Inakuwa ni kama opportunity ya kufanya those other things that you've always wanted to do. Now here the teenagers are. And one, their normal schedule what we call the normal schedule. It's school, it's waking up, books,
yes,
no
and
break,
just follow that whole
follow
thing.
that thing.
Yes, not the regime,
has been
Ipo.
They are home. TV is boring. They have watched almost every movie.
Yes.
They even know what is coming tomorrow.
And no homework.
There's no homework. There is nothing. We are all not ready. One of the challenge that came along the way is that you find that you are all looking at each other. You are not used to talking to this teenager, a conversation. One of the biggest challenge. There's no one-on-one conversation. So what do? You'd call once, call twice.
Yes.
We have earphones.
Yes.
By the time I'm hearing what you wanted to say, you are already annoyed because you think I'm ignoring you.
I'm ignoring you. I just have my headphones on and I'm chatting with my friends and all that.
Exactly.
Do you want to mention like specific challenges that were experienced at that time in as far as teenage life and parents are concerned?
Yes, one of the biggest challenge is misunderstanding.
There were misunderstandings.
The biggest was misunderstanding. Because, for instance, this is an age where there is an increased decision making in life. They have to have an increased decision making. They are making choices for themselves.
Yes.
Which, in one way or the other, we are not used to. This is your child. You have been telling them what to do.
Yes.
They now want to do.
Start doing it for themselves. And all of a sudden, you don't like that again.
Challenge you and I.
Because feeling like, oh, am I losing authority?
So that's one of the biggest challenges. The other thing that we have to understand is that they are at a stage where the pressure, from peer, and from parents, they are torn between. There is what you want as a parent. There is what they want,
and there is what their friends want.
And what their friends want.
And social media, there is
wako hapo tu katikati. And of course, again, the influence, because as much as we don't have a hold on them, then someone has a hold on them.
Oh yeah, most definitely. They are not existing in a vacuum.
Yes.
There is somebody who is speaking to them. They are
when you cannot have a conversation.
Yes.
Like for now. If this conversation is for the teenagers, then of course, let me tell you, if we don't hold it, somebody else is going to hold it.
Somebody else is going to do, and probably they're not exactly going to talk about the things that you're talking. They're going to be taking the conversation in the way that they definitely like.
Yes.
Now, yes, I do appreciate that there were quite, a number of challenges involved, and probably might not have all the times to go through there. Before we take a break, let's quickly look at this question of what defines teenagers positively? In terms of, there is usually a general perception of, teenagers are troublesome, men, they eat a lot, they are lazy. There's a negative perception towards but teenagers are beautiful people. Actually, literally speaking, they are beautiful, handsome, young people.
If there is an age where an expression of what God created in its whole marvelous way, it's at the teenage level.
Glory,
because at the teenage level, the discovery of who you are, it can lead you to the discovery of who God intended you to be. At the other levels, you struggle between thinking, what was I supposed to be?
Yes.
At the teenage level, you discover, who am I supposed to be? And so, even with these all challenges and people finding that teenage is not like, there is so many negativity. There is so much positivity. Let me start by saying,
exactly, you can highlight some of those positivities.
Look at the aspect of increased decision making. Very positive. They are able to know, this is me, and this is what I want. All they need at that level is a little guidance. Look at the aspect of discovering what they are best at. you know, a teenager has a lot of energy, a lot.
Yes.
That when it is tapped correctly, then we are making an exploit. Look at their talents.
Yeah.
If you discover that a teenager has this particular talent at that age, I would assure you, it is the best time to encourage them to try that instrument which they just mentioned, even if they have never touched it.
Oh yes.
Because that is a talent.
Yeah.
If it is cultivated, well watered and done well, you expect that person to do exploits.
Yes.
Look at the time they have.
Wow.
Wow. You know,
I'm sure all the time in the world.
They have the time in the world to do like everything they want. So what do they need? The guidance of being told this has a different consequence in the future. Because what they need to realize now is that every single thing they do today will be a reflection in their future. So they have all the positive aspects. Look even at the aspect of what is happening in the social media. Pasi kusema ukweli, leo tukikwambia ufanye TikTok.
Okay. You know, that thing, you have to be told how it functions, man.
And you see, time has changed. Time has changed.
Yeah, so true.
Because what we used to experience, if we could remember our teenage life, what we used to do at those particular times, it's very different from now. We have the aspect of the social media giving us knowledge. All that it is. We have all resources around us.
We have so much that is available to us. Something that is quite a great departure from teenagers of the past. About probably the only thing they used to hear was from you know, KBC radio or
the only channel for that matter.
And probably just the locality mahali walikuwa naishi, such that even the broadness of understanding of things was not as high as it is now. A teenager of today is able to appreciate the diversity, you know, that they are raised. You're bringing up very, very important positive definitions and descriptions and understandings of these youth, teens.
We have the opportunity today to have a teen seated in Nairobi and knowing all that is happening in Russia.
True.
By a click of a button.
Sure.
You only knew if there was a football match at your neighbor's school. So you can imagine the aspect of what the knowledge that surrounds them at this particular time. So in the aspect of the positivity, I can assure you they are at the best of their lives.
They are at the best of their lives. That is, emotionally they are ready for the molding. Physically, they are very, you know, they are increasing, they are growing. They are strength. Actually, one of the verses I'm looking at here is Isaiah chapter 40, verse 30 and 31, where the Bible compares the apex of human strength is the youth. You know, that such that when God is saying, even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fail. The one way of looking at this scripture is that God is actually like saying youth are the epitome of the strength of a generation, of a people. And we appreciate that. When we need warriors, when we need to train people in the army, we don't pick 30-something years old people. We pick 20-something-year-old people, because this is like the prime of life where they are. And of course, it's during these teen years that they discover all these capabilities, these capacities, these giftings, talents, and callings. And we'll say this in different ways a little bit later in the conversation. But like Tesh is bringing it out, it's a time that we ought to dig out the treasure in our young people, because emotionally they are rich, spiritually they want to grow, they want to understand for themselves their faith. There begins to be a questioning people. Their curiosity goes in every direction, even intellectually. Even faith, they'll begin to ask you, like, by then, no, seriously, you know, the Bible talks about Noah and the ark. You know, just help me appreciate. Noah alibuildi ark aje. Alafu mazeme mosquitoes alizikacha aje. Alijua aje female na male mosquitoes, you know, zinaka aje. You know, and it's all out of curiosity. But imagine you're a parent and you're thinking like, shindo pepo nyeusi, believe the Bible and stop asking all these questions. But this question is actually a positive, healthy thing, and we'd actually want to say to every parent watching, please answer the questions of the teenager. Don't assume they know. Don't imagine they understand, because if you haven't told them, who did?
In fact, that question is that statement is very, very true.
Yeah.
Teenagers are at the point where they can, their mind is as pure as nothing else.
Yeah.
That point of questioning, it's very essential in Christian walk.
Yeah, so true.
So essential.
Yeah.
And if you're a Christian and you don't ask God questions, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
You have a problem.
Yes.
If you cannot question what you believe.
Yes.
Because by questioning, by asking those questions, you are able to dig deeper. You are able to get more.
Yeah.
You are able to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's what sometimes we fear doing. We don't want them to ask.
Yeah, we don't want them to ask. Sometimes it's because they're not even sure we can answer.
Imagine you being in church and somebody raises up their hand in the midst of your preaching and says, I have a question.
Then you go like, ni pepo gani sasa lina interfere na program,
So it's very necessary. And as you say, let the parents take time to answer the question. And if they can't, let them direct them to people who can answer the questions.
That is so true.
In the best way.
That is so true.
Yes.
This is a conversation that is really getting exciting. I'm thinking about, what used to happen when I was a teenie, and it tries to imagine how are our teens for today, coping with life. But of course, some of the things that we're saying here is that teenagers are a beautiful, wonderful people. It is a wonderful stage in life. We are forming our identities, like, Tesh has mentioned here. Our personal identity, our spiritual identity. We are also establishing ourselves in terms of our academics, because it's a prime time of life to be in school, to be instructed in all knowledge. And we are having this conversation because Martinis wako home. We are having 7 weeks together with them. We hope that you paros have bought enough food, because these guys are gonna manage everything in the fridge, in the cupboard. They're gonna eat everything that they can put their hands on, and it's their rights to do so. Please make sure that you stock up those fridges and buy lots of food. They're also going to be asking you asking you questions, like we're saying. Please answer those questions, whatever it is. You do the best. If you don't know how to answer any particular question, you figure out a way of creatively responding at that particular point in time. Then go research, look for an answer, book a date with your teenie, tell them, hey darling, you know what? I'm going to take you out for coffee. I'm going to take you out for chocolate. Or yesterday was like International Women's Day. At such times, tell your daughter, darling, I'm going to take you out. And we're going to talk. Remember that question you were asking me about? Let's talk about it now. With me here in studio is Peter Tesh. Tesh is a youth pastor in Nairobi West, just here with us. And we are having this conversation. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about what challenges do teenagers face, what are their greatest needs, and what can a parent do? How can you improve your capacity to be able to be an effective mental helper, supporter, encourager, cheerleader, watini wako? Because if there is one thing that a parent wants, you want your children to leave your hands, as it were, knowing that you have invested in them, you have done your job, and you're like, oh God, I have finished my course, so please, as they move on away from me, may whatever we have partaken together from you, lead them and guide them the rest of the way.
Sure.
Before we go, I just want to thank you for that very first session as we get into the next session. So we're taking a short break. Don't you go anywhere. Cat TV is the only station worth watching, so please don't change that dial. Stick there. You can grab yourself a bottle of water or something, or you can finish up on your dinner. We're going to be right back in a moment.
Greetings from CAC TV, our own church TV station that was launched during this COVID season. In a bid to add more interesting content for you, we would like to hear your feedback on content build-up as we kindly ask you to partner with CAC TV at all levels.
Since God gave us this CAC TV, which is a very competent means of reaching people in and outside Kenya, we therefore need your loving support through your continuous prayers. We also appeal passionately for your generous financial support to help us be on air as the Lord will require us to do and to be.
You can give from as low as 100 Kenya shillings or pledge any amount on the card. Fill in the smaller perforated card with your name and telephone number on it. We shall come back to you with your commitment membership number and personal faith-based conversations.
Please respond to this genuine, urgent appeal. Kindly be a CAC TV partner. May God bless you abundantly as we join hands to do this good work.
Kindly send or commit to do so any amount of money on a monthly basis to pay bill number 4019613, account partner.
Please plan to give regularly. Please give occasionally, or you can begin to give a one-time gift.
Pay bill number 4019613, account partner. For more information, contact us on 011 00 90 647.
Ni wakati wa kuomba. Ni wakati wa kuomba.
2022 is a special year for the Women's Guild Fraternity, for we will be celebrating 100 years since the Women's Guild Fellowship began. We must acknowledge that this has been made possible through prayer. In this spirit, we are beginning a journey of 100 days of prayer and fasting for all women, beginning 12 February to 22nd May 2022. In this season, we invite all women to pray for the nation, the church, families, the women ministry programs, and the success of the 100-year celebration, and any other item as the Lord will lead you. Remember, the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective.
Natangaza ni wakati wa kuomba.
Okay, karibu sana back to Youth Tuko on Friday. This is an exciting conversation that you're having here. It's a teen talk. It's a teen talk. Almost sounds like TikTok, teen talk, you know? Teen talk on TikTok. Yeah, and with me here is Peter Tesh. Tesh is youth pastor at Nairobi West Parish, and thank you very much again for being here.
Welcome.
So we're talking about teens, and we've already said in the first part that it's a wonderful stage of life. It's a wonderful thing to be a teenager. A lot is happening, and we've talked about the positive things that are in a teenager's life. In this part, we want to talk about the journey is not always smooth. You know, for anyone.
Yes.
For a little child, for a teenie, for everybody in life, there ain't nobody who doesn't experience challenges or difficulties or obstacles that are associated with their stage of life and the things they are pursuing. Occasionally, I have told parents in church, whenever I'm preaching like a main congregation, that you know, teenagers may be confused between purple hair, green hair, white hair. You know, when teenagers are young, they want white hair. When they are old, when they are old, they want black hair. So, you know, and young men wants to be called wanaume. You know, someone else wants to be called kijana. They don't want to hear that they have become old and all that. So, and while teenagers are struggling with those kind of issues, like, who am I going to love? Who am I going to hang out with? Parents are also worried about, is my job going to perform? Is my marriage going to perform? What about my investment? How about my money? And all those kind of things. So it is just a way of saying that everybody in life needs help. Everybody has issues that they confront. So let's come to the teenage life and ask ourselves, what are some of the obstacles, the difficulties, the challenges that are associated with this particular stage of life?
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much because of bringing the ideology of we are all on a journey.
Yeah.
So all of us have particular challenges. And for that matter, it's also defined by the times that we are living. Different generations will have different challenges, and their solving mechanism will be totally different.
Are also different,
because the influencers may also be different.
Oh, true, true. And they are actually.
Others.
Yes.
In fact. So at this particular time, you may find that the teenagers of this generation are facing challenges we never had.
True, true.
Or the generation that will come will be facing challenges
that the current one doesn't have.
The current one doesn't have.
Yeah.
And so one of the biggest challenges that the teenagers will definitely have in their life is the identity challenges. The identity.
Yes.
Because the influences of that challenge matters a lot.
Yeah.
If they are not molded at home to know who they are, because it's basically, let me just give this example. How would you feel if you told a young lady, you look beautiful, and they said, I know?
Okay, you have to talk to another Gustari then.
You know, to a man, that is, hey, boss, you are so rude.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, to me,
that
girl is so courageous, knows who she is. She has the affirmation of who she is.
Okay.
So telling her she's beautiful does not change her.
Yeah. And mom already told her that, and her daddy already told her that.
Brought her knowing that she's beautiful.
Okay.
So the challenges of who they are matters a lot to them.
Okay.
Of course, in that concept, they will have other challenges that will come with their needs.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that, of course, will define where the teenager feels most in need.
Yeah.
Because if the challenge is love, because that is one of the biggest concept
love
at this
and relationship.
Age. Hey, hapa ni lazima nionekane ninapendwa na mtu. Ninaenda na sako ya kina nani.
Acceptance.
My boys, kama hakuna girl na nismaidiaga, you know, I'll start doubting.
Wow, yeah.
When I say a joke.
Yes. Mazie, nobody laughs. Why? Instead of laughing at my joke, they laugh at me.
Yes. Now you reach a point of even doubting when they laugh.
They are laughing at a joke. And of course, very closely connected with that issue of am I being loved and all that is the issue of body image.
Yes.
You know, it's very, very important because they are all over social media, you know, people looking good and all that. And here is probably a teenager who is thinking, you know, I don't kind of look as beautiful like
so
other
and
people
so.
Or so and so.
The aspect here is who is influencing them.
Yes.
Because I can't lie to you. If the teenager does not have identity at home, and this one I will bring to the challenge again of parenthood.
Yes.
When they have no identity with their parents, they have no identity at home. You find a young man who has been brought in a family that is unfunctioning. They don't have identity of how they should dress.
Yes.
And sometimes we reach a point of, you know, thinking that the way they are dressed, you know, unavaaje ka mwanamke, you know, wacha umama. You know, some of these words may just seem like a joke, like the one that is trending. Kwani mimi ni mwanamke.
Oh dear.
So you know, they seem not. They are just small passing of a statement. But what
it has tremendous significance on this part. And of course, you're appreciating that transitional stage, just like we talk about teething problems, they are teething for life.
Yes.
And so there will be challenges connected with their emotional development, physiological development, spiritual development. And because of how they like wholly and passionately open up themselves to these changes, they can also be very easily misled, abused, misused because they don't have sufficient knowledge sometimes to know right and wrong. But moving on from that question of challenges, let me take you to the question of the they are experiencing also very strong urges and desires in terms of they have longings. What are some of these longings and some of the greatest needs that a teenager feels? I want this. This is what I'm thinking about. This is what I imagine all that. What do teenagers want? What do they need?
A lot of things.
Yes.
A lot of mixed things, which some they are not needs, they are wants. I really like distinguishing between the two, because needs, it's that which they cannot live
got
without.
To have, yes,
they have to have it for their lives to develop. They need it as they grow up. Once, it's what they feel.
Yes,
I want this because so and so. Not because I need it to survive,
but
because so and so has it.
Or I saw it being advertised.
I saw so and so wearing it, and I'm affiliated. To that type of music, the type of lifestyle, and so they want. But of course, let me start with the needs.
Yes.
The first basic, and I believe every parent that listening to this, or every mentor, it's the affirmation need of the young teenager. The affirmation. They've been told that yes, you can make it. Because one of the biggest destroyer of the teenage life, and that is the extent to the young adulthood, is when we see them as nothing.
As nothing, as failure. And especially if they have fumbled a little bit and maybe they didn't get the right grade, or they kuna mahali tu wametereza.
Unajua shida ni nini? Tunataka wakuwe kasisi. So ukipata A, you didn't tell them how you got the A. But you want them to automatically get an A. There is need for us to realize that when God declares that we are in the image of God, does not mean we are cloned. We are not duplicates. We all come with our
own. My goodness, that's a wonderful point.
Yes, because
so in the image of God doesn't mean that you're a clone.
You're not a clone. You are an original of God.
So they really do need affirmation.
The second need they need is love. And that is why they are in so much confusion on terms of love, because they basically, most of them have no well to draw love.
They need it, but they don't have
they go
a clean source.
They go search for it. If they have plenty of it where they are, then they have a way to give it out.
Is it okay to say that parents ought to be the first lovers of their children?
They need to be the first full wells where love can be drawn from. Because if that lacks, then, and for the parents, the biggest challenge is that it is not a one-time drawing of love. It is a continuous process of refilling the well for love for their own children.
Talking about that, there was one time I had a conversation with some people, and some were saying, it's not a good thing when a parents become a very close friend of their teenagers because they will lose authority over them. And then the others were saying, no, that is the best thing that you can ever give to your children. So which way should we go? Should parents be very good friends of their teenagers, as to the extent that sometimes they can hang out, play football, eat pizza out there, just have fun? Or should we maintain this posture of authority, unajua kuliko nani, that can, which way should we
Who are you a boss to in your own home? You decide to be a boss in your own home.
You be a boss.
You just continue being a boss. They will become the employees. And you know how they behave. One day they are gonna strike. They will not have a conversation with you. They are gonna strike.
Mugomo.
Yes, because that's what that is the setup you have created. I think, Pasi, the best way a parent can be able to bring up a teenager in that level of teen's life is being a friend. To hang out with them,
amazing.
To enjoy
this highlights the next of the greatest needs, because this conversation, there is affirmation, there is that love, and we have introduced the aspect of the friendship of the parent is very important. You can highlight just one more of their greatest needs, and then we can move on.
The aspect of belonging. which brings in the
Yes.
aspect of self-esteem.
Okay.
Self-esteem without belonging,
Yes.
it's dead. They want to feel they belong.
Yes.
So now, asking,
Yes.
you know, the paroles out there.
Yeah.
So when last did you converse in that decision making with your teenager?
Oh.
Ama wewe tu ni venye utasema the boss aspect.
Yes.
You know, they belong because they feel they are participatory to the decisions that are affecting themselves. You know, the next time you go out buying them clothes, you just want to buy them, you know, a suit.
You didn't even ask them. You know, or sometimes even give them money.
Oh no, boss, ni shule. Unajua shule kuna uniform.
Yeah.
So if you decide to make your home a school,
yes,
then it becomes a challenge. They require a sense of belonging.
Sense of belonging.
When they have a sense of belonging, let me tell you, they will even give you solutions to some problems you think.
Oh yeah.
You know, you think they are the problem. They will give you the solution,
and you'll discover who is.
And you will discover.
Amazing. I'm thinking about also the aspect of covenant, because children are a word of covenant in terms of parents get married when the children are not there.
Yes.
You know, ordinarily speaking. So these children, you know, found themselves in this home, and you can imagine what it is. Therefore, if they don't feel that they belong here, and they didn't even tell you to bring them here, you're actually the one who brought them here, and then all of a sudden they feel like it's a hostile place. It's not a place like you belong. And when I look at the greatest needs that you're talking about, I think they are extremely, extremely necessary and helpful for wholesome development. You've talked about affirmation. You've talked about love. You've talked about
the relationship between the parents.
The friendship, the relationship between the parents, and now, of course, the sense of belonging.
Yes.
That brings us to probably the final point of this conversation for today. We've talked a lot about the parent. So, and a parent, of course, is the one who is responsible for guiding the journey. Now, Scripture says in Proverbs 22, verse 6, train up a child in the way they should go. And at least in the teenage years, even the law recognizes that these are children. You'll be caught and prosecuted for child labor, child abuse, as long as this person is under 18. Yeah. And this is exactly what you're talking about. So the question is, how can a parent best assist the process of transformation, transition, and growth, and the acquisition of all these positive things and the maximization of the potentials that a young person has? What kind of a parents do we need? What are we looking at?
Well, that's a very hard question, because there is no perfection in parenting. There is no perfection. You cannot be a perfect parent. But what I will call into this evening is that you have to be a parent that tries to their level best to take care of the gift which God gave you, because the prayer was yours, not theirs.
Yes.
Hapo maombi ilikuwa yako pasi.
Mazee pasi kuna venye unaangusha statements jo.
Secondly, let us remember that the basic of why God gave us this journey, it is for self-actualization.
Yeah.
We want this young teenager to self-actualize themselves, to know, to reach their maximum.
Yes.
To be able, if they are to do exploits, then they have to start with themselves. And so, there's a few things maybe the parent will need to do. You know, we are talking about teenagers from 13 years.
Yes.
God has given you this young lady, this young man for 12 good years.
Yes.
How well do you know them? So let me start by telling parents. You cannot start being a parent at 13. No.
Yeah.
You need to start being a parent way back.
Yes.
So that you may be able to walk.
Yes,
because
yes.
you can never, one of the biggest challenges Pasi today with a lot of parents, because they try to be friends with their teenagers at the teen level.
And they were not friends.
They were not friends when they were at 7.
Wow.
The preteen, it's more challenging. Na hope tunaweza kuongea kuhusu preteen. Hapo ndio mambo iko.
Yes.
That is where they look forward to becoming teenagers. That is where they look forward to. For the boy child, anaanza kufikiria, so nikimaliza 8. Nenda the process, na kuwa amani. So if you have not been a friend as a father, there is a mentality that comes in. I'm also a man like any other. So mwanze kuwa mabesti saa hiyo, normal.
Even so it has to, it is something that has to be there even during the preteen years.
If you are a mother and you have not been able to have time with your girl at 13, hawezi kosha kikombe.
So true, so mtaletana tena
mtaletana juu sababu kuna zile development za mwili. Kuna ile urefu. Of course kuizi kuna wenye wanaangalia maparo hivi, so
you know, boys are heavy and all that.
You have to understand that it's a journey that you have to come. But also let me remind you as a parent, you have to invest in being a parent. You know, sometimes we want to be the 19th century parent dealing with the 21st century young men. Because we have to understand, you have to invest. You know, it's not a must you take that course, but how broad are you getting? How, you know, do you interact with what they are doing? Umeonesho TikTok, wewe I don't know, you know, it's childish.
Okay, I appreciate what you said all the way from the beginning in terms of this particular part on the parenting, that there is no perfect parenting, but you must try to try your best, and part of that trying is, you know, to do your best to inform yourself about what is happening in my child emotionally. Do I know what is happening? Because sometimes emotional changes, the physiological changes, and also character changes, issues of depression and stress, sometimes all of them can almost look the same. Your teenie is all of a sudden sleeping too much, eating too much, withdrawing from the rest of the family too much, and you're left wondering, is he sick? Is he angry? Is he, you know, upset about something, or is it a normal thing? You know, I think a parent really has to up their game.
Yes, Basil. Let me assure parents that the challenges that come in with now the issues of mental health, which is very important, and that's why I would insist that do your best to be a friend to your children before they reach the teens age.
Wow, and I think that is a wonderful point to conclude that. Do your best as a parent to be a friend to your children before they enter the teenage years, because once they enter the teenage years, there is a lot of intellectual independence that begins to form. There is a lot of personality identity that begins to, you know, form separately from what you like, because the number of influencers have all of a sudden increased, especially other young people. Your child is spending more time with other young people, probably more than they are spending time with you. So it is just about time to know that the journey of parenting, like my brother and guest here says, that we start parenting way back, and even as a church, we have to think to think and ask ourselves, how are we preparing the young people that are coming into marriage? Are we actually investing enough in preparing them, helping them to begin the journey of marriage and parenting? Because the next generation can only be as good as the parents from whom they come. And if anything is not corrected in one generation, in the next generation, it's only going to be bigger and badder. You know, it's going to be a greater challenge. So, and Peter Tesh, I just want to thank you so very much for being here in studio and having this teen talk. I do feel like we have barely scratched the surface. We have rushed over things right in here. And maybe by the grace of God, we'll still continue with this conversation in probably, you know, next week on Friday. But as for now, what is your parting shot? You wanna just drop a bomb and then we run?
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out, to my teens, at PCN Nairobi.
Oh yeah.
To those great young ladies and young men. Thank you and welcome home.
Yes.
And to every other teenager who's listening to CAC TV, karibu sana nyumbani.
Okay.
You belong, and we love you so much.
Okay.
To them that are struggling with the issues of teenagers being home, I want to encourage every parent and tell them it is possible.
Yes.
And with prayers, and the right guidance, you can make it.
So
you are the best parent, by the way. You are the best parent.
Amen.
God bless you so much.
Amen. What a high point of encouragement to the parent. You're the best parent. You're the best parent. And probably some of those teenies from Nairobi West, we can have some of them here next week on Friday.
Oh, yes.
And we can see how that can be done. Otherwise, we just want to thank you so very much. Thank you for choosing to watch CAC TV, the only station worth watching. Is CAC TV, and especially with Tuko leo, we've been talking teens as a parent. Just remember how it used to be, and please appreciate the fact that your teenagers also need encouragement, they need support, all those kind of things that you have said. And during this 7 weeks holiday, we encourage our churches, please, I know these things are figured out, a lot of you have planned out things. We encourage you to go after them, talk to them, educate them, inspire them, motivate and encourage them. Do whatever it takes to use the time creatively and positively, so that as they go back to school after the 7 weeks, they're going to be better people. And to all our teenagers, want to wish you the very best. Again, like, Tesh tells the parents that they are the best parent. You also want to tell that you're the best teens. You're all we have. You're our future. And so may God bless you so much, encourage you. Also be hearing, be good listeners, be obedient young people. Submit yourself to the authority of your parents, of your church, of the authority of the Holy Spirit through the scriptures. Otherwise, God bless you so much. Have yourselves a good time again. Peter, thank you so much for being here. I look forward to the next program. Otherwise, until next time, the Lord bless you so much. The guys behind the camera there, Winnie, and my brother there, Leo. Mungu awabariki tu sana. Asanteni sana for steering this ship in this program. Bye-bye for now, and have